Let's start with a question that should be basic, but it's hardly ever asked. Shouldn't we be getting our nutrients from food? Your body requires a long list of vitamins, minerals, and essential nutrients to thrive. And the reality is that as omnivores, we can get all the nutrients we need by eating a well-balanced diet. No pills required. You see, meat provides B vitamins, zinc, iron, taurine, and creatine. Dairy offers calcium, B vitamins, and fat-soluble vitamins. Eggs are rich in choline, biotin, vitamin K2, and selenium. Potatoes deliver potassium, vitamin B6, vitamin C, and magnesium. Fruits and vegetables provide vitamin C, folate, phytochemicals, and all sorts of minerals, including potassium. And properly prepared grains, such as sourdough bread, provide B vitamins, especially vitamin B1, a crucial cofactor for carbohydrate metabolism. In looking through food diaries from the 1800s and early 1900s, it's clear that traditional diets provided everything needed for optimal health, without the reliance on synthetic supplements, which are actually quite new. So instead of protein powders, multivitamins, or electrolyte drinks, our ancestors focused on eating enough and incorporating traditional, nutrient-dense foods. But here's the catch. This real food approach isn't profitable for big corporations. The margins on whole foods are too slim for massive companies. So instead, they would rather sell you a quick fix magic pill with higher profit margins than fix the real issue, your food. Just like with agriculture and pharmaceuticals, there's been massive consolidation within the supplement industry. A significant chunk of your favorite supplement brands, they're actually owned by a handful of corporate giants. And guess who's buying them up? Big Pharma, baby. Companies like Bayer and Pfizer now have their hands in the supplement pot. Why? Because dietary supplements are a potential goldmine. The US market for dietary supplements was valued at $165 billion in 2022, and it's projected to grow by 7.6% annually. That's a lot of money at stake, and when billions are on the line, you can bet they're doubling down on marketing, pushing supplements as if they are essential to your health. They don't just want you to buy supplements, they want you to be dependent on them. This isn't just a health issue. This is about money, control, and the power to be able to shape consumer habits. Here's a shocking truth. In 1994, supplements were officially classified as food, not drugs. So this means they bypass the rigorous safety and effectiveness testing required for pharmaceuticals. So the result, supplements hit the market without FDA approval, leading companies to regulate themselves. And this means that most supplements are never independently verified for safety, purity, or effectiveness. Yet they can still make bold claims on the labels. While outright false marketing is illegal, many brands can exploit legal loopholes with vague, misleading wording. So in reality, only a small fraction of supplements undergo independent testing, and even then, oversight can be weak. So how much of what's on the label can you really trust? Does your supplement actually contain what it claims? Or are you just paying for overpriced fillers? Here's the reality. You cannot out-supplement a poor diet. Nutrition should come from your food. That's where the real magic happens. And relying on supplements instead of focusing on real whole foods misses the bigger picture. Your body doesn't absorb and utilize isolated nutrients in supplement form the same way it does with whole foods. Why? Because your food is more than just a collection of vitamins and minerals. Instead, it is a complex whole food matrix where nutrients work together in ways that we don't even understand. And this natural synergy is something that no pill can replicate, no matter how well formulated it claims to be. But here's where the supplement industry can get a little sinister. Supplements are often marketed as the fix to poor diets. Instead of focusing on the root cause of poor food choices and lifestyle habits, they sell you pills that you may not really need. And this isn't just theory, it's science. A 2013 study from JAMA Internal Medicine found that, quote, use of dietary supplements in the United States is widespread and does not appear to correlate with improved health outcomes, end quote. In fact, it has been linked to increased risk of health issues like cardiovascular disease due to overuse of certain vitamins like folic acid and vitamin E. Another study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that many supplements can actually cause harmful effects when used irresponsibly or in high doses, particularly fat-soluble vitamins A, D, E, and K, which can accumulate in the body. A study published in the New England Journal of Medicine found that adverse effects of supplements were responsible for an average of about 23,000 trips to the emergency room per year. That seems a little high for something that's supposed to be good for you. Another review of FDA data from 2007 to 2016 identified 776 adulterated supplements from 146 different companies. 20% of the products contained more than one unapproved ingredient, and some of the supplements contained prescription medications containing harmful substances like sildenafil for sexual enhancement, sibutramine for weight loss, and synthetic steroids for muscle building. And in the majority of these incidents, the unapproved ingredients were not declared on the label. Another review paper stated that the accumulated evidence from randomized controlled trials does not support benefits of supplements in reducing risks of cardiovascular disease, cancer, or type 2 diabetes in healthy people with no clinical nutritional deficiencies. Here is a direct quote from the paper, quote, "Nutrients obtained from foods and supplements may confer different health effects. The cancer prevention study found that supplemental calcium intake at greater than 1,000 milligrams per day was associated with an increased risk of all-cause mortality in men, whereas high levels of calcium intake from foods had no harm. Among U.S. adults in the National Health and Nutrition Examination Survey, adequate intakes of nutrients from foods, but not supplements, was associated with a lower risk of all-cause mortality. The benefits of nutrient intake from foods may reflect synergistic interactions among multiple nutrients and other bioactive substances in foods," end quote. Relying on supplements as a preventative health strategy often falls short compared to making better food choices and eating a well-balanced diet, likely because of this whole food matrix. In 2018, Dr. Neil Smoller, a holistic pharmacist, released a graphic showing how a small handful of corporations own almost all of the major supplement brands. Here are just a few examples. Bayer owns One A Day, Philips, and Alka-Seltzer. Pfizer owns Centrum and Emergen-C. Nestle owns Nestle Health Science, which owns Garden of Life, Nature's Bounty, OptiFast, and Boost. Procter & Gamble owns the brands New Chapter and Align. This consolidation is alarming, and it's just the tip of the iceberg. These companies are not just pushing supplements, they are shaping your beliefs about health and profiting off your confusion. Think about it, they manufacture your food, some control the pharmaceuticals, and now some own the supplements. It's a perpetual cycle where you're constantly consuming and never really moving forward. Are you really improving your health, or are you just becoming more dependent on their expensive pills? Another problem, supplements are often full of hidden ingredients. And often, these ingredients can wreak havoc on your gut and cause problems for overall health. From fillers, additives, and artificial dyes to the capsules that they're packed in, which are often made with cheap synthetic materials, the supplement industry hides a lot behind that fancy, healthy-looking label. Here's a quote from Dr. Ray Peat, quote, "Any natural food is extremely purified. Any supplement made chemically is going to be dirty, just in principle," end quote. So here Dr. Peat is emphasizing that whole natural foods are inherently pure because they're created through biological processes that can filter out contaminants. Whereas lab-made supplements require industrial processing that introduces impurities. Even with strict manufacturing standards, it's nearly impossible to eliminate all contaminants from synthetic supplements, making them inherently dirty compared to real food. Not to mention the fact that many supplements actually have poor bioavailability, meaning your body can't absorb and utilize the nutrients that they claim to provide. So you could be spending hundreds of dollars a month on supplements, but your body may not even be able to process what you're swallowing. That's a lot of money down the drain. So it begs the question, could that money be better spent on real food? Investing in whole, nutrient-dense food might not only save you money, but also spare you the frustration of sorting through countless supplements and trying to play lab chemist with isolated compounds. Now, let's get to the million-dollar question. If supplements are so beneficial, then why aren't we getting these nutrients from food? Why do we need to pop pills for things that should be in our diet? And if they were so beneficial, why aren't they working? Because we're still seeing obesity and chronic disease rates rise as the rate of supplement use also rise. Here's 2 reasons why. First, big food wants you dependent on them. If you depend on supplements for your nutrients, you're less likely to question what's happening to your food and how it's being produced. So they can continue to cut corners in reducing costs and producing you low quality food. And number 2, profit margins are much bigger in the supplement industry, especially relative to selling real food. The less we rely on food and the more we rely on pills, the more money they make. Supplements are not only far more profitable than selling real food that truly supports our health, but they also come with far fewer risks. Think about it. Producing a supplement involves creating something in a lab and mass producing it in a controlled manufacturing facility. On the other hand, pasture-based livestock systems and produce grown in real soil, they're subject to much more uncertainty. Weather can wipe out an entire harvest. Animals can fall ill. And accidents just happen. The unpredictability of nature makes farming far riskier than churning out synthetic products in a lab. Plus, if people start getting healthier by prioritizing better food and lifestyle habits, it would mean fewer people relying on this perpetual pill-popping cycle. The truth is, if you truly want to protect your health, the key lies in a food-first approach, not a supplement-first mentality. Nutrients from whole foods are far more bioavailable and effective for the body, and we have generations of proof. Our ancestors thrived on nutrient-dense whole foods, not pills. The reality is, the supplement industry is a multi-billion-dollar business with few regulations and even fewer concerns for your health. The supplement market is a $165 billion industry that thrives off your fear and confusion. And here's the ugly truth. Big food and big pharma have successfully turned this need for real nutrition into a cash cow. They sell you the illusion that their magic pills are the answer to all your problems. But you don't need pills. You need real food and better dietary choices. And despite the aggressive marketing and endless advertisements, you can meet all of your nutritional needs through food and making better dietary choices. Here is just one example I made on a website called Chronometer, and this is one out of many. A breakfast of sourdough bread, eggs, your fruit of choice like blueberries, and coffee with maple syrup. Lunch is a bowl of boiled potatoes and your preferred vegetable like boiled collard greens, with raw cheddar cheese and bone broth. A snack of cottage cheese and apple and honey, and a dinner hash of sweet potatoes, ground beef, veggies like red pepper, topped with raw cheddar cheese. You can even throw in some high-quality dark chocolate. This combination alone allows you to hit all of your RDAs with ease. And this is just one example. There are countless other ways to nourish your body with whole foods while hitting all of your micronutrient needs. As for vitamin D and vitamin E, which appear low, getting vitamin D from sunlight is the preferred way, and keeping your polyunsaturated fat PUFA intake low means your vitamin E needs will naturally be lower. Plus, sourcing matters. Pasture-raised livestock will provide higher levels of fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin K2, vitamin D, and vitamin E thanks to their diet and natural lifestyle on the pasture. So it's important to keep in mind that the data that Chronometer is pulling from is from the US Food Database, which is likely from confined animals. So if you are sourcing from pasture-based livestock, regenerative farms, farms that you trust, your micronutrient intake is largely going to be even higher. The bottom line, you can get all your nutrients from food. No pills required. Now, don't get me wrong, there are certainly times when supplements can be beneficial. When in a state of poor health, strategic supplement use can be used in a way to shift the trajectory of your health. And I will admit that there are quality brands that have solid third-party testing, but I don't think that supplements are meant to be taken chronically, long-term, 365 days a year. Take Chinese medicine, for example. Herbs are used in a seasonal and tailored approach, focusing on short-term support rather than long-term reliance. The emphasis is on restoring balance through lifestyle, diet, and seasonal adjustments rather than using herbs or supplements chronically. It's just a fact that supplements can't give you the same benefits as real food. And when we flood our bodies with isolated nutrients, we're asking our systems to process and eliminate the excess. But our bodies weren't designed to handle these concentrated doses day after day, year after year. Do we truly understand what we're asking of our bodies in the long run? Next time you find yourself reaching for that miracle supplement, thinking, this pill, this supplement, this is gonna fix me, promising to solve everything, pause, take a deep breath, and honestly ask yourself, why am I not getting these nutrients from food? Have I genuinely focused on fixing my lifestyle and diet first? Have I tried to hit all of the RDAs from food? What might happen to my body when I take this isolated nutrient for months or years? Is my money better spent focused on sourcing higher quality food than expensive supplements? And if your bathroom cabinet looks like a miniature pharmacy, I think it's important to ask yourself, do I really understand how all of these pills interact? Could one be canceling out another? Are these working together or against each other. We have somehow forgotten what the word supplement truly means and have been masterfully convinced that we're somehow incomplete without them. So be skeptical of clever marketing that empties your wallets and fills your medicine cabinets. As Hippocrates wisely said, quote, "Let food be thy medicine." We can improve our quality of health by improving our diet first. Minimize processed food, reconnect with your kitchen, and source the highest quality ingredients that you can afford. Your body will thank you with the kind of vibrant health that no pill could ever deliver.